Okay, we are live. Yeah, we're really late tonight.
Sorry for being really late. It's mainly because I'm psychotic. So let's jump into it. It wasn't your phone or YouTube, it was us being late. I'm sorry.
Okay, I haven't posted the blog yet on this, but I will after this video. But a lot of these suspects, even if they're not a suspect, we still kept track of them just to be on the safe side because you never do know. Which opinion on this? Like, even if I don't think they're a suspect, I'm not going to close the door on it because I never try to close. Like, this is an unsolved murder, so I'm not going to close the door on anything. Like, even if I'm 99% sure that they're not a suspect, open. So, okay, the first suspect we're going to talk about. Like I said, some of these are going to be odd. Which one of them I can most likely close for sure after just going in my speech is Israel Keys. He was a serial killer and he was arrested in 2012. There's a report he was in Indiana murdered. Uh, but I don't know a whole lot about him. Like I know like the basics, where he killed at, but he was never associated with West Virginia. But they said that he buried like kill kits basically around and like money and stuff around the United States in case he happened to be in that area. But he worked in like was it Alaska stuff like that.
Why would you put it on your suspect list?
Because somebody mentioned it. These like all these suspects that are in this, I've either read in comments, somebody's talked about, or I read it somewhere. So all
He's
these
done this whole list at work. Like I have no idea who's on the suspect list besides
I've done it.
the sister who I
I've done it when I
think.
played
So
cards too. Like I said, this has been like things over the years. I don't personally believe because I don't see him driving from Indiana to West Virginia to kill.
I don't care who you are. I'm not I drive across state lines to hide the body, but not to find someone to kill.
Um, this one I cannot find anything on. Excuse me. But the iPhone killer, I read about this happening in New York, but like I said, I never could find anything from the phone that Leah had on her hip that we shared in the photos and talked about. That wasn't an iPhone, was it?
No.
And I'm assuming if they labeled him an iPhone killer, they took iPhones.
When was iPhone even made?
I don't know. Because I've read comments where somebody talked about iPhones back in her time.
There may have been like an iPod out, maybe at that time, like
I know I had
iPod.
one around then,
Because
but
I had an
I
iPod.
can't remember if they said 2007 was when the iPhone killer. I can't remember.
I think
But I
that's
don't see
probably
them
the one I
driving from
know.
New York to West Virginia to kill a girl.
No.
And the reason why for both of these is, I don't see random killers coming here. They wouldn't know the layout of the apartment, and the building would have. They wouldn't have known the building was empty, and they wouldn't know, Leah was alone. Point on this case for sure. Um, Chad Falks and Brandon Basham. They're the ones that murdered Samantha Burns in 2002. Well, I read, somebody mentioned them. Excuse me. Excuse me. But, well, when they were mentioned, they're like, they were already in jail. And they're like, well, they may have, worked, they may not worked alone. Excuse me. So I'm assuming if you go that route, then you could understand maybe because we got people tied into them, but they're saying, that. So they had an answer for the question of, they were already in prison, but it still wouldn't really say they done it because they were already in prison. It'd just been somebody tied into them.
Brian's trying to figure out how to watch us live,
Um,
but he doesn't have a YouTube account,
I don't
so
know.
he can't subscribe.
I don't know if you have to subscribe or not. I think you should just be able to have to type in Killer's Crawl Space and it should pop up.
Let me tell.
Because I think I've watched live videos without subscribing. It's just easier. I think if you subscribe to
It'll
them,
tell you
then
when
it
it's
pops.
live.
Then they get a notification. Yes, but that is on these two. Well, three, four people. The next one I don't like mentioning because I personally don't think, but her father's been brought up. Uh, I think more with him because it's more of where it's been 12 years and everybody just kind of be like, hey, it's got to be this person. It's got to be maybe him because that's why it's never been solved. Because where he's got tie-in because he's the Mason County assessor, but he, Leah
Does
was
an assessor really have pull?
he might know people in law enforcement stuff like that, but like, what would he gain? Like, really, what would he gain? Leah was his only child, and everything I've read, they were very close. Had a very good father-daughter relationship, and I did read that he did go to the apartment with his sister and preacher on the 15th.
I don't know. People snap. I wanted to kill some people I'm really close to.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to rule it all out 100%.
I still don't think that he did it in this particular case, but I think you can kill people you're close to.
Well, yeah, but I just don't see him doing it.
Like, even if it's a good relationship, just might snap and be like, I really can't stand you anymore.
But that's why I personally feel that he was brought up just where it's been so long. But one thing that did catch me off guard, I think a little bit after I made the podcast episode, a lady had messaged me and commented on several posts claiming him as the killer. Yes. Like I said, I don't see it, but afterwards she told me to delete the comments. I can't remember what the lady's name was. I can't remember. It's been years ago. She might have actually deleted them because I think I went to or something. I think she had actually deleted them. Like I've tried looking for the message, I can't find a message, so I'll have to. I can't remember if I deleted it or not. But it's been because that was in 2017. Well, I can't remember why she said it was something about maybe she didn't want to see it type thing. Did he figure it out?
Yeah, he doesn't have an account, so he has to message me. He said I look angry.
Okay, but yeah, she told me to delete the comments. Hold on, I got another one I forgot. I was talking to a guy while I was playing cards, and he brought up another suspect that I read about, and I forgot to write it down. So I'm kind of going like more of the least. But I read that there was a police officer, possibly a suspect, but no details. Just said police officer. So take it as you will. Which most cases like this, it's kind of yes on the dad. Yes, it's very good. I don't see it, but I don't know. But yeah, the police officer though, like I said, I don't never a name, nothing ever given about. Just said police officer, so I'm not sure where they heard that theory at. So most cases like this, unsolved, usually police cover up. Some people's like, oh, cop must have been involved, so he covered. That's how it all got covered up. So I'm not sure, like I said, where he went with that. Okay. The next one, this one's a long one because I actually had some pretty. I don't know how true the information is, but I had some very good information. Messaged me.
If it's not true, it's not very good.
Well, I know. I don't know if it's true or not, but
he has some possible. He has info that is not.
I've never read this anywhere else, but I did find something in an article, or no, it might have been somebody local posted it that kind of gives some background information. But most people talk about the contractor / maintenance man. We know they're fixing a few things on the building, and from my understanding, it was the owner's brother and a friend of his doing the work. Now, this gets interesting to me because a lady messaged me about something I'd never heard before, which I talked about in the podcast episode. But she had mentioned, hold on, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. Jesus. I'll go into this, and I'll go back. But there was one, yeah. But in the podcast episode, it was about a gentleman. He was a maintenance man, supposedly worked in the apartment building. I'm not sure if he was the brother or the friend. But if he was one of them, it would make it interesting. But his name was Chuck Ginger. But he supposedly stalked women. He would kill himself in a hotel room. And the theory is he killed himself because he knew the police was on his trail after they had reported him to the police. So I can't remember when all this was, but a lady she posted about it and went into a whole lot more detail. But by the time I got the information and talked to her, it had been a little bit. But he, like I said, possibly lived in the area. But going back, like I said, I jumped a little bit ahead of myself. But going back, a lady had messaged me about something I'd never heard before, and she messaged me after I asked if anybody had lived in the apartment building. So, I could get a feel for how the apartment was set up, which you probably saw. I did see some before they fixed it up and remodeled it. I did find some pictures and some remodel after after they'd done the remodeling, which really, because the guy I talked to, he said that he helped remodel, and he was talking about the closet where they put the washer and dryer in there. I thought that was really cool. Validating what he was saying. I got to move my legs. I cannot feel my knee. I think I just cut myself somehow. Oh, sorry. My knee. I can't feel my knee. Oh, God. Quit laughing. Oh, God. I apologize. I'm old. But the lady would tell me she saw two doors on the front. Oh, wait. Was there two doors? I can't remember the layout. I was standing in the doorway on the front porch. She said her dog barked at him, and she was on the phone with her husband at the time. Well, it's her ex-husband now, but it was her husband at the time. And she made the comment to him, they are painting our old apartment. You're raining on this. But, okay, so basically, they're painting our old apartment. She said this was around 7:30ish. Hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
he was one I've been wondering about since I heard y'all talk about it in the podcast. And when they said something about hydrated lime was put on her body, makes me think a maintenance man could gave access to. Yep, very good point. But yeah, she was saying that it was around 7:30ish, and to me personally, they would have had to seen something or heard something at least, because everything that's been reported as Leah Hickman's last known phone activity was 5:40, and they're assuming anywhere from 6 to 9. Um, But she said she was taken to the police station the night that they found Leah. And she said they got her phone record and questioned her husband. She said the cops told them they were cleared, not her and her husband, but the maintenance men were cleared. And she also made a comment about seeing someone on their porch looking in their window within that time frame as well. I can't.
Was it the old man?
What old man?
He was sitting on the porch.
No. But said it had a silhouette about her dog had went crazy, and all they saw is this silhouette. They couldn't give any detail, but I don't know if this was after Leah was found or after she disappeared. And she said that she heard that the hot water tanks were supposed to be replaced that week, and she said the crawl space was located by them. So that's kind of interesting, because I'd never heard, I knew the maintenance man worked on it, but I never heard of anybody seeing a maintenance man there. Because if 7:30 is right, then that's putting it right in the time frame of all of that. But she said that they were basically hanging sheetrock, painting, stuff like that. Okay. This one has been talked about a lot, but Leah's sister, well, half sister, I'm gonna call her sister. It's easier.
Then just say it.
I know, but
don't say half sister.
Well, like we talked
all.
about, in the other episode, everybody says step sister, half sister. It's like I said, still sister.
No
but
one cares.
She was one that was mentioned a lot in this case. Most of it seems to be from she was last to see her alive, and she knew the apartment and the way she acted afterwards, and her story's changing around a little bit, and which in the missing video you still can't hold that against her, I don't think, because she didn't show emotion, but they only thought she was missing at the time.
Well, disassociation too,
Yeah.
not taking up for her, because I think she was she had to have been involved, done it, or been involved. She has to know something more than what she's letting on. But disassociation, I have that a lot, and it turns off my emotions, and then I blow up at a later date, for no reason.
Like that.
So maybe she was like just, out of it.
Well,
and
I
then,
got paper over here that I found articles and stuff on that talk a little bit about that. Because, like I said, I react differently to things as well. So I could see where she's coming to.
You have too much emotion.
At times. But, like I said, we discussed her stories and stuff change around a little bit. But some of the earlier videos, like I said, she was only considered missing. So, like I said, not ruling that against her.
She said that she's her top suspect.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's top suspect. Like one thing with the whole missing thing when she was like that, like maybe she was just trying to stay positive, hoping that Leah was alive. And the MySpace post, I don't see that being weird or anything creepy, which I know a lot of people do take that as creepy because the old sister, where are you? Like it's a cryptic thing.
I mean, it could be, but it may not. Like, I know people that do weird crap like that all the time.
Oh yeah. But like I said, that could have just been, But somebody talked to me about where, like, I think it was in one of the videos, said, "I love you, sister." No, she messaged me, yeah. "I love you, sister." And she said, like, when she talks to her sister, but she thought this was weird because she never adds that when she's telling her sister, "I love her."
Well, that's just her personally, or maybe because everybody kept questioning half sister, stepsister. So maybe she was
No,
like,
this was,
"Love you,
no,
sister."
no, this was talking about, like, I don't know. I think they're trying to say, like,
Sorry, that crap
well,
makes me
they were
mad.
saying this was her last word she said to Leah before she left. That's what I'm saying. This was supposed to be her interaction with him.
You've never been like, "Oh, love you, sister, love your brother." Like, you know how people
If that's your
do.
last words to them, like, wouldn't you? Because, like, I can understand if, like, other people's in the room. Like, if there's 8 people in there, you'd be like, "I love you." Like, 8 other people would be like, "What?"
Well, a lot of people. I think it's the same thing as like the cousin thing. Like how
Yeah.
people say "love you, cuz." Like,
It could be like in the MySpace post. Really nothing major to it. They might say, "I love you, sister,"
just looking
or
to
whatever.
that
Like,
may have been their thing. People could have kept being like half
she
sister.
might not even said that. That might have been the last thing she ever said to
Exactly.
her.
Who knows?
Let's see. One thing she also mentioned that somebody that she had worked with Leah said that they had both been arguing horribly for days.
Maybe.
For days, and she was saying this person never lied. So
I hate when people say that.
I know.
Like, I bet they do. They're probably just good enough to get it by your stupid ass. Like,
Well, not that. Some people do, some people don't. Okay, going into the Nancy Drew video. I know we shared a little bit about it. Let me try to find it.
I have the Scooby Doo theme song stuff in my head.
So we're talking about Leah right now. And we're not Scooby Doo.
Kinda.
Because I want people to correct me on this because I've not seen anything on this. Well, I've seen stuff on like this, but I've never seen like the location of anything with it. But, well, the Nancy Drew show, a guy was stepping in for, but his name was Brooks. Would you like to act?
Sure.
No.
Who am I?
You're nobody.
Screw you.
Well, he said, and then came back, and Sergeant Williams from the Huntington Police said the back door was open. Is that normal for the back door of the apartment to be open?
I got this. All right. Actually, we leave it unlocked if we're doing laundry, and I have 2 cats, and they're kind of ornery, and they're able to open the back door. So
This is my thing. When we get, not to jump ahead, but when we get on to him, I do have possibly a name, but
I'll look him up on Facebook.
But yeah, the cats. Where were the cats? I've never heard where the cats were. Like the only time I've ever read anything on them was this that she mentioned about the cats, but I've never heard anything about the cats afterwards. Like, were they in the apartment when she returned? Like what's going on with the cats?
Maybe the cats were alive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, were they alive? Like, but if you're in an apartment, like, do you let the cats go out in the hallway? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Because the back, like, I don't know. That
Well,
put
if you
them.
only have a couple of neighbors, like the way that was set up, it seemed like there's only a few people that could live there. So maybe they're just like, cool, I love cats. Like,
Well,
sure.
maybe the cat went to crawl space. She crawled down in there and killed her.
Duh.
Why no? Like, I've never seen nothing about the cats.
Cats were alive.
But okay, well, he
My
says,
cats unlocked the door.
but he says yes. Okay, she says it's not completely unusual, and he said okay, and she said of course in the light of circumstances. The circumstances. Um, the owner I read says the outside door was normally locked, but he lived in Florida.
How
Like,
does he know?
yeah, how does he know?
What was that?
Just we kind of lost. Sorry if we lost a little connection there. Like he lives in Florida. How does he know the door's locked? But I've read numerous times his back door was always unlocked. Anybody, I know we talked about in one of the other videos, like supposedly his back door was always unlocked, because because that the contractor I talked to that fixed it, said there was the meters in there. So the guys that read the meters for power bill and all that, they were all in there. Like everybody had access off the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, cats are like that.
Well, we have a female cat. She stays around, but our male cat, there's a barn up the road that has, since I was young, like there's always stray cats up there. And I think he went up there and got one pregnant and just hangs out up there.
He did because the cat gave birth on my neighbor's porch.
Yeah, like he comes back every now and then for a few days, a week, eats, and then he's off again. So, like I said, I'm assuming because I've never
Could
heard.
be a community cat.
Could be. Which that just means that they would have, because if the back door is always open, that means people can just open it up. But so
Yeah.
my understanding is the front door.
Or they could just be supposed to be keeping it locked and nobody does.
Well, that dude said they had to keep it open so they could read the meter or whatever. But I know now they have like technology. I don't know if they did back then, where they could be like in so far of a distance and it picks it up. So wait, I got more stuff to read on the sister.
I'm not good on time frames. Like if you ask me when stuff happens or like when stuff was made, like I'll have no idea.
We'll go back to that. But some articles mentioned about, she cherished the childhood memories of playing dress up with Leah. Um, had fond memories of her birthday. Leah would let her curly locks free to help, her celebrate. She's talking about how her hair was just straight and blonde and hers was black and curly. And she always told her that her hair was absolutely beautiful. And she'd purposely wear it curly for me on my birthday. And they talk about when they shared it in Huntington, they would be comfortable, quiet moments.
I don't know, that seemed weird.
They enjoyed watching shows such as Lost, America's Next Top Model, Arrested Development, Friends, and CSI.
But that seems weird. Like she would wear her hair curly on my birthday. Like I've never fixed my hair for someone to be like, "Oh, yay! Thanks for doing that for me."
A lot of people's actually I've seen
Like,
brought that up. They said the
care.
hair thing was a weird thing because like she's talking about like not really her, but like her hair and stuff.
If she did kill her, I bet she like kept a lock of it or something.
We don't know, but like
You need to
nobody's
figure
ever
it out.
But
Coming for
she
you.
always said she made fun of her watching I Love New York, but when the season finale came on, she was sitting right there with her, watching it.
Blah blah, normal sister stuff.
She treasures spent time with her little sister. She says not coughing, but coping with the situation, being strong for her family is one of the hardest parts. She said it's a hard time talking with Leah's mother about the ordeal. So
maybe she's just the rock of the family.
Well, that's what she's saying, being strong with it and coping with it.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why she didn't show very much emotion.
Hold on, that's in one of these parts.
Or you could just be a crazy murderer and not have emotion.
Okay, yeah, that's basically, saying I don't know what to say to her. I don't know how to make it better. The memories have left her with only one word to describe her sister. That's lovely. That's what she said. She's got the kindest heart. Can't think of her without thinking love in general. And talking about, they fought like normal sisters do. She was almost 5 years older than she was. They had different circle of friends, but she always wanted to be where she was at, which the younger sister usually looks up to their older sister. But as they grew older, their bond, matured, and they got better once they were more adult age and in college. And they both got jobs. They had more to relate to other than high school stuff. So, and then, in the other parts, just talked about this is where it talks about her as a person, the sister. Um, she said she's never been an outgoing person. She considers herself shy and isolated.
This is
And
the sister, not Leah.
yeah,
Okay.
this is the sister. The death of her half sister, Leah, reinforced those character traits and pushed her toward depression. And she said the death was, completely just basically messed up her whole normal life. The two girls have been roommates since the fall of 2006. Friends and family said Leah initially, wanted her own place, which anybody does, but agreed to stay to help, with the rent. But it was an interesting time period. They grew closer. They had separate lives, but they still found time for each other. They watched scary movies, cuddled together. Sunday breakfast at Bob Evans, late night trips to Walmart and Taco Bell.
Same.
Um, still goes into talking about her sister being lovely, completely full of life. And it was hard to be around her without a smile on your face. She didn't. She was the first to try to make it there. Um, she remembered the giddiness and the way she would giggle and about how she'd burst in the room about a sight about most trivial things. And 5 seconds later, she'd be completely passed around on the bed from telling the story of whatever it was. She talks about having the experienced the death of about 10 relatives, which, we all go through that. And she grieved and eventually moved on, but found coping with Leah's death only proved more difficult with time. Well, she's talking about grieved and moved on with the other relatives, which probably, grandparents, stuff like that. But she said grief eventually caused her to shut down at work because it came too much and forced her to seek help. It was assistance she had hoped to avoid. She had planned on helping herself and staying strong to assist others in her family. And she said she had moments where it honestly just hit her like a ton of bricks. And I couldn't breathe, she said. Just imagine what she had to have gone through. Well, what Leah would have gone through. And she became front and center of the week long search. And she quickly retreated. She didn't grant interviews, and some criticized her for a lack of emotion. Some used that to fuel rumors about her possible involvement. So, see, this is basically getting into where she, went into depression and how it just hit her, thinking about all of it. But yeah, she was, helping out with all that. But, she says the best things is she has to deal with them alone. She don't put a lot of emotions out there. And she said, I know people thought that was weird and they expected to see a show, she said, but they expected to see all of us just completely falling over each other, not being able to get out of bed. And she said, that's not how we are. Um, she said, it's nobody else's business when I cry or why I cry. Like, that's a very good, interesting. So, whatever. I'll think of it later. But she, learned about her being accused of killing Leah because they were publicly posted on internet message boards and just all around, local area. She said she wanted to run out and scream, but resisted the urge. She became more frustrated and secluded as the accusations made her feel paranoid at work and elsewhere. And it's been a lot easier, she said, to stay in her apartment and not have to face people. And she said, I would look at a customer at work and think, what do they think about me? What do they think I'm capable of? So Leah's best friend defended her sister and said the duo did not have problems. She believes they got along well together and never fought. She called a testament to their maturity. And she gets really, really, really serious when people blame, the sister. And not only does it not make any sense, but it seems insensitive to a sister trying to grieve. And basically, that the sister elect to cope with Leah's death by focusing on the fact that Leah would never return home instead of imagining the horror that she endured. She basically, tried to focus on, her life type thing. So if you read, like I said, listening to all of that, it kind of just seems that's, the whole thing. She was out there trying to pass stuff around, which I think this was around. Yeah. To go more into that, that she did have when her sister went to work, she had a job that required her to punch in and out for lunch. And there were time punches for when she left and when she returned to work. So they should be able to verify if she left work or not. I don't know what time she's supposed to get off. And then she said, this is what I read about Leah's last cell phone call was after, after Jessica's half sister returned to work. So, if the phone called at 5:40, her sister left at 4, like I said, I don't know what time she clocked out. And then she goes into the sister was, shy, introverted person, not a people person. She would be very nervous in the interview type situation that she had been taking place on the networks. She's actively looking for Leah, posting flyers, making phone calls up until a body was found, and she has not been at her job since Leah discovered her missing. So you take all of that, and does that rule out the sister for you?
No.
I was saying, like I said, that she basically grieves and everything, but just in a different
You might feel
retrospect.
bad for what you did.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of what she was saying. Like the family still and friends, said she didn't do it and took up for her. So you just kind of got to look at it either way you do, I guess. Okay. Um. Okay. My one question I want to know: did Leah and her sister know about the crawl space? Did everybody live there know about it?
Sounds like nobody knew about it.
Like the owner, said he didn't, but if he lived in Florida, did he just buy it, show up, buy it, and leave, or what?
Well, my friends used to live in a place, I think it actually was Florida where the guy lived at, but he had someone that lived there, keep up with maintenance and, get the rent from people and send it to him and stuff like that. So he probably owns it and then just has, someone handle it a little.
Well, probably the brother. Which that Chuck Ginger guy?
So for him not knowing about it, I don't blame him.
That Chuck
Probably doesn't know a
Ginger,
lot.
yeah, Chuck Ginger guy. They said he was supposedly lived in the area, and he could have been,
Yeah.
the friend of his brother, which I don't know. I don't think the names match the last names if you go that route. But that's kind of depends on what you just want to believe with the sister. Um, the next suspect we're going to go into is the current boyfriend, not current boyfriend now, but the current boyfriend of 2007. I don't.
Go ahead, let me see his name.
No, this is not him.
You just said.
The ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that's who I'm
This
gonna
is
look up.
this is the current boyfriend. This ain't the same guy.
This is right now boyfriend.
Yeah, this is who she stayed with that weekend.
Isn't that who I'm looking up?
No, and I've already tried to look up the person.
Let me see this guy. I'll just do it. What's his next name's right there?
No, his name is. It says current boyfriend.
No, just kidding. Never mind.
Because I don't know his name.
We won't be FBI tonight.
I've been wanting to say yeah, like I said, everything I've read, it was really even the police didn't know it was there. So, but I've heard there's like I said compartments down there where people had stuff in there, and then I've heard it was used for they put this stuff in there to help fix the apartment later on.
A bunch of crawl spaces though, you wouldn't know where they are. Some of them just looks like the floor in a closet. You have to literally open the closet.
With that contractor I talked to, said about 8, it was 2 to 3 foot wide opening. It could have been stuff, like a box, but by the water heater might have blocked it. Some of the entrance. But the current boyfriend, the day Leah went missing, I was told the boyfriend had went to the ER with a broken arm. And I read it somewhere else too, but they said his arm was injured. So broken, injured, still same thing. Which injured could just be not broken. So 2 instances there. You're looking at injured arm at least. Um, Most I have read concerning him is either Leah's sister done it, he helped her cover it up, or I heard the other way around, he done it, sister helped him cover it up. I don't know why he would want to kill her. So, why do you?
Well, she could have been like, "Listen, you're helping me,
No, I'm
you
saying
broke
him.
arm bitch."
Like, why would he do it, and then her sister help carry it up? What I'm saying. Like, I can
They probably
understand.
done it together.
That's what I'm saying. I can understand. Like,
I'm
there's
sure he wasn't just like, "Hey, whoops, killed your sister."
like various thing. Most common thing would
Like
be sister kills,
yeah.
he helps cover it up, which brings up like what we mentioned about the Christmas party. If they were at the Christmas party, it should have been confirmed what time they left, who's seen them. Like, was there a Christmas party? Like, that's kind of what we're looking at. Like, if there really was one. So, but hold on, I can't reach that. Here, hold this.
Is the ex-army vet that didn't like Leah and was mad she put his clothes out or something?
But, okay, was he? No, this was not. Sorry, this was not that one.
I don't know. He's confusing me too with who this person
I literally
is.
spent like. This is
You're
why.
too confusing. You went over it too much.
Yeah, and I still, like,
You're confusing.
take a bunch of intersections that just overlap each other. That's my mind on stuff like this.
That
And
doesn't make any sense.
well, say you got a road that goes this
That's
way, road
not.
goes this way, road goes this way, road goes this way,
It's
this way,
not a
this way,
good
this way.
comparison.
Yeah, but just think of it like that, and then think of I read true crime every day and say all these unsolved murders or disappearances. So say I have a million intersections
You're doing too much.
per case, and say I have 10 cases in my
Get
mind.
back to this. This video is too long.
It could be long. Well, we still have.
We
have two other suspects to talk about.
It's midnight.
I know.
I still have to clean this over again.
Hold on. I'm trying to find the part. Sorry if we kind of get off topic at times. Okay.
We kind of have to. It'd be really bland.
Well, yes, but it's a lot. This was a lot of stuff to put together, and discuss on things.
I'm gonna start putting a thing together about cults.
Well, we're going to do that for the podcast, actually.
Yeah, I know.
You need to do various ones.
If you want to see it on YouTube, let us know.
Okay, but in the Nancy Drew, the cop did say we're looking into that, talking about
the boyfriend.
No, just talking to other students.
Oh.
Maybe if she had some enemies or anything, but we haven't had any. And talked about, yes, the boyfriends have already been interviewed. Boyfriend, so I'm assuming this current boyfriend we're talking about, and then the ex-boyfriend. So that's going to apply to both, because we are going to talk about the ex-boyfriend in a second. I am just trying to find. Well, there's more to what I'm trying to look for. That goes, I think, with the boyfriend. Or I could just be completely lost in all of it. Exactly, last page. Okay, this was by somebody local in the area. Said that both of them, the sister and the boyfriend, had been extensively interviewed by local law enforcement. They were asked to come to the police station, were separated, were aggressively interviewed for several hours, and this person thought it was a good idea. This happened both before and after Leah's body was found. So they kind of already had little, they were Leah's sister was obviously the suspect, last person to see her alive and all that. But So they interviewed him before, after them. They had tracked down everybody that ever lived in the building for quite a few years back. Also checking with any delivery companies, anybody that had been bringing stuff to the apartment building.
Oh yeah,
Like
delivery guy.
they're going wide net, which I didn't really mention any delivery guys as a suspect, but you can kind of look at this because I've never seen any of their names pop up.
I mean, they know your address. They have a reason to get through the door without a struggle.
But well,
Yeah.
they would be in the area a lot, so they might be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we don't deliver a lot of mail
They could
here."
have stalked her.
Yeah, and like somebody could have just stalked her because they said that she went to a bar. Her friend, I think her friend worked at a bar, and she would go to the bar a lot and like drink a water or pop or something with her. Like somebody could just be like hanging out.
Have you guys seen that show You? That's about a stalker. Check it out. Netflix.
But yeah, like she could have been like stalked around, and then
Yeah, stalked
BTK
and then
stalked
been like,
people and got
let
like
me
her
in.
pattern. Then because if somebody looked at that place, say you drove by that place for a week and just sat out there, like you're going to notice
What time someone
Leah,
comes out.
her sister, and say if the other guy that was
You'd
in
probably see
there,
what cars they went to.
well, yeah, and if you saw the other guy that was in there, like how long was he out of state? Like if he was
I know.
there and then say he was gone for a few days, like okay, he left, and then maybe they could have added up the time and then been like, okay, I got to get this over with because this guy could be returning.
Yeah.
They probably knew the sister went because where they said it was pretty common that the sister went and stayed with her boyfriend. So it opens up a lot if you take that route. But like that's basically with the boyfriend. They were interviewed and all that. The broken arm, hurt arm, that's interesting, especially if it was around that time. And I wish there was something like I'd like to hear the story of how he got a broken arm. Yeah, I don't know. I
Like
don't.
time
I don't.
frame.
I don't have a name for him. And the name I got for the ex-boyfriend I found, I don't know if it's true either.
Giving out fake names.
I think I'm done with this section. I think I'm done with all that. Okay, we're gonna go with the ex-boyfriend now.
What's his name?
Hold on. Um,
What you ever
most
written?
most of the stuff was printed out that I'm going to be going off of, like with the other ones. This was the one that was the veteran. Um, I was told that he had made a pass at Leah a few times.
Leah was like, no, you're dating my sister.
So that could be explained a little bit over people say the sister with the jealousy thing, but if it's an
Yeah, sister could be like,
ex-boyfriend,
oh, you up on my man?
well, what it's an ex-boyfriend though, so like why would you kill her now after she already left him? Like, like I'm gonna kill her because she's my ex-boyfriend. Like if she was like, say if that was the reason, but if
Well, he
he's
already knew like probably her schedule,
But
or
if he's like if he's the one doing it and Leah's not doing anything, like, hey, you're dating my sister, that's on him. That's not on Leah.
yeah,
But it could have
but
still upset the sister though.
people be crazy.
Um I've read that he had an alibi and I read he didn't have an alibi.
No one knows. Nothing is
I
like
know.
fact on this.
I know. That's what I was talking about with the whole Chad Fox and Brandon Basham thing. Like where the case is so old, like people just like shouting out, names of killers that were in the area. Like somebody could die back in the '90s, like Bobby Joe Long, because he lives in West Virginia. Well, his last time in West Virginia was like 82, 83 or something, which he was a serial killer down in Florida and stuff. So like people just connect names with stuff sometimes, but like I said, a lot of this is speculation because a lot of stuff's been deleted and stuff like that, and you know where it's still an open case, you can't get any of the personal files. So whether he had an alibi, didn't. I heard because a lot of people thought like an army veteran, they're going to be like, oh, this badass type dude. But I heard he was a goth type individual.
So
Not saying goth is bad, but maybe with goth, you usually. I
no,
know, but you know how
there was no sign of any ritual or anything.
Well, we don't know.
She didn't have any blood loss.
They just said strangulation. That's all we know, and that she was fully clothed. We have no. They could be lying
That's
about
not.
that.
That's not. No, that was just a incorrect statement.
It could have been, but you cannot take anything for granted in this.
No.
Heard that the ex-boyfriend was a dick as well, which a lot of men are. So that's mean. But well, here's like they said he was interviewed by the police twice. So and then the other thing said he was interviewed. Didn't say how many, just said they were interviewed. Okay. This is where we're going to talk a little bit more about him. That he had lived with the sister and her partner for 2 years, and she had broke up with him a few months ago, and he still had keys to the apartment. I read that they changed the locks, and then I read they didn't change the locks, and then I read the owner changed the locks. So 3 variables.
In an apartment, the people would be responsible for it. You can't just change it to any willy-nilly lock.
Well, from my understanding, each apartment had different, like, their own locks. They could have changed it. I heard they didn't have the money really to change it for how much it was going to cost.
We've had to change our locks before at Mom's, and they won't let you. They have to do it. Like, you have to put in a maintenance order.
Well, so they might have had to pay for it.
And if it's like urgent or something, you put urgent.
Yeah, even if they had to pay for it, so maybe they didn't have enough money to pay for it, or maybe it could have been like a deadbolt lock though too.
Or it could have just not.
Well, not deadbolt, but just master lock.
I'm not saying they were lazy, but I'm just saying like.
But either way, if they didn't, no. But I'll go back to that in a second. But he never came and got his stuff from the apartment. And they said it was being stored in the laundry room, which was where the crawl space was located at. Until.
So, yeah, putting his clothes out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until a couple weeks ago. So this would have been a couple weeks ago. Well,
can they see the chat too? Or they just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure. If I remember. Yeah. But so a couple weeks. Are you looking in late November, early December? But Leah had told the people that were working on the building to throw it out. So outside. So
he's like, oh no, my stuff.
My only thing I have an issue with, if they had broken up a few months ago, like, was it because Leah moved in? Because if he lived with her in an apartment for 2 years, did he just go? I'm assuming the only thing that makes sense to me, he went off to, I think it said Iraq, and then Leah moved in when he left, and then they broke up after that. Because Leah moved in fall of 2006, so you're looking at a year that she lived there. But because I read too that Leah was like scared of him a lot. I think I have that written down in this book. Yeah, Leah had hid in a room when the ex was around, and he had scared her with his temper. Well, the sister that was dating him, that scared her with his temper, but he never got physical with her. So if that's true, then the sister says that he had a temper, and we say that Leah was afraid of him. So I thought this was interesting. It said that he returned from Iraq, and he didn't contact her for about a month after he had been back in the U.S. and even in Huntington. Seemed odd because, to everyone considering that that was his girlfriend he had lived with for 2 years, and he apparently drank alcohol quite a bit. He had even gone to the apartment when they weren't home after he had moved out and took all the alcohol they had in their apartment. This is from somebody local too. I think same person. And according to them, they said as far as they knew, the locks were never changed. And she's saying it was up to them to have to pay the cost of replacing them. They didn't have the money.
Well, it could be, yeah.
And saying that he still had working keys to the building and apartment, according to the sister.
Everywhere's different.
Yeah. So the owner's not around to say, "Hey, you paid for it. I'll have
not
somebody
like
come
a huge
set that."
complex or anything.
Yeah, it's an old building, early 1900s. But yeah, it is kind of crappy though if he goes in and steals all their alcohol. If that is a true thing.
No, I mean,
So that kind of means that he's going in there when they're not there,
I'd do it.
planning
I mean, if
things,
you're a desperate alcoholic,
planning
you know what I
things
mean?
out. Yeah. But I wonder what all the stuff they threw out. Was it just his clothes?
Probably just his stuff. Which wasn't really thrown out. I mean, it was stored in a basement. It's not
No, they
like
threw it out after that. It was in the laundry
all
room.
like trash.
Yeah, because
Oh
by
yeah,
what
I'd
they
be
said,
mad. What if he had like medals or something in there?
but it's being stored in the laundry room up until a couple weeks ago, and Leah told the people working on the building to throw it out. What medals? Like Army medals?
Yeah, anything.
No, he never
Like
got his
anything
stuff.
important.
Like when he left, so he wouldn't have had it. The Army medals would have been with him.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
What? That he had them with him.
No, that I would be mad too if they threw my shit out.
They'd been like clothes and stuff.
I don't know if I would have killed him, but I mean.
Well, you're talking about medals.
Like, yeah, like army medals that people keep put up that you don't wear.
No, that's what I'm saying. He would have had them with him because he left
his stuff there.
Probably not. No, he went to Iraq. That's when he left. I think.
Probably left his stuff there.
Well, if he left that, then again he might have went to training, went to Iraq right then, never came back, just left like clothes. I don't know what he had there.
Well, it could have been. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'd be mad if my stuff.
But yeah,
was
if he went to like basic training and went back there and left that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think basic's like 6 weeks.
Yeah. But
he was in Iraq, though.
Yeah, so I don't know what.
Or Afghanistan. Which one?
It says Iraq from there, so I don't know what went first. Like, did he come back with stuff? But I don't know. But
I'd still be mad.
You're
what
looking,
if he couldn't afford to get new clothes?
Well, I remember somewhere. Let me remember correctly. I forgot to write it down. Something about he had lived in one of the apartments. If I remember correctly, I don't know because they were talking like he was in the like.
Well, did he live with her? If he had clothes there.
Yeah, like that's why it didn't make sense. Like, did he live at the apartment like then, and then moved in with her, or did they just? Because like, why would you live with her if you live in like another apartment in the building? Like, that don't make sense.
You never know.
But because they were mentioning like they were into weird stuff, but it was more like D&D stuff, which is not weird because I'm into stuff like that.
I've never played. I've actually been talking to a friend about teaching me.
So, kind of whatever you like. But either way, if you moved out, if Leah had his stuff thrown out, could be possibly upset. Because it could have been, because you're looking at least basically clothes. Like
when you said that, I honestly thought you were about to say like sex stuff.
No, that's what I thought too. When they say that they're in some weird stuff, I'm like, oh, so I'm like, are they like all banging each other or something? I was like, that could be some jealousy issues. Maybe that's how
the strangling happened accidentally.
What
that could no. Okay, never mind. We won't go there.
Okay, but said the sister had called this ex-boyfriend around Sunday or early Monday after Leah had disappeared. She called to see if he had seen her.
The ex?
Yes, if the ex had seen Leah. So
the sister called him?
Yes. Like, maybe
they did have something going on.
Like, is this normal? Like, if your sister's scared of him, like, did you think like, oh God, like, it could have just been that, like, okay, she threw his stuff out, like, maybe he did come and kill her. Like, if he had a temper, like, there kind of shows that, put it out there. But he made some very odd statements to her, wanting to know the status of their relationship. But you think if they had been broken up for a few months and she's dating somebody else. So
she's like, hey, have you seen my sister? She's missing. And he's like, what are we?
Am I single? Or are we together? Like I said, I don't know how true this is. This is just what somebody posted that was local in the area. This is what was going on.
All hypothetical.
Yeah. And he had said something to her about he couldn't have been involved if Leah was missing because he was drinking with friends. And very strange considering this was only a couple days after she had been missing and the timeline had not been reported in the media at all. Which how would it? It would have had to. It was like reported. It had. I don't know. Because you think as soon as she went missing, because like with that lady that I was talking about earlier,
they don't do missing reports until like a certain time.
Yeah, they filed it. Well, yeah, because they filed, I think, Sunday evening from a lot of stuff I read. Because when she didn't show up Saturday, I got really
probably wouldn't have
worried.
been actually out until Tuesday.
And I think the next day actually is when they filed.
So if you file it Sunday evening, they probably would have to wait all the way like 24 hours, and then they probably would have got out till like Tuesday.
She's an adult.
Yep.
So
I think it's a longer time because I think for kids it's 24 hours.
They've kind of changed. Like with the Amber Alert, kind of helps more now.
Yeah.
Which that was a reason behind.
Well, especially if you have a reasoning, like if your child just goes missing, then they're kind of like, oh, we gotta wait a certain amount of time. But like if you have a reason, like someone's after y'all, or you have like a bitter spouse, co-parent, whatever you want to call it.
Well, see, like with that lady who was talking about seeing the maintenance man, she was talking about like it took them a few days, so they actually started searching the neighborhood. So
yeah, I mean, you would think like the sister and friends would.
Well, they were like out passing flyers and stuff, so nobody was expecting her, I think, to be found in the crawl space. Like I said, I still think they just got lucky with all that, with putting her there. But it's basically saying, how did he know he was with friends within the time frame that Leah disappeared? So I'm guessing saying the time frame is what they're meaning of when she disappeared.
Did you ever get the autopsy thing, like what her estimated time of death was?
Nope, I don't think anything like that's been released because it's an open case. So I'm thinking they're probably.
Oh yeah, cold cases are considered open.
Yeah.
So you cannot get case files.
Well,
I'm telling them, not you.
I know. Well, according to Dateline, that episode. I mean, not that episode, but that article just came out. Like you have
to be like a detective or something, or a retired detective.
Well, they say they're always working on it, whether they are or not.
They are not.
So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
The police and government are.
So I'm still expecting anywhere between after her phone call at 5:40. Like it only took a little bit to get back to the apartment. I'm still saying 6 to 9. If the voicemail started going in after that, and her mom started calling around 9, I'm saying it's between 6 and 9. Yeah. So, which I could kind of see, like if you're like, "Hey, have you seen my sister?" And I'm like, "I was drinking with my friends. I didn't have nothing to do with it." Like I don't know if he came out like that with it, but that would be kind of iffy. Like, well, I was just saying, she wanted to see her, so you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like, but he didn't offer to help with the search effort, and basically ended it with, "Give me a call when you find her." So if he really said this, that's kind of it. Like, hey, give me a call when you find her.
Well, I don't know.
Well, he, if he'd done it and hit her, then he'd.
I might have been like that too. Like, oh, let me know when you find her. Like,
well, yeah, like it could be taken either way you look at it.
I don't think it.
Which, if Leah was scared of him and threw his stuff out, I'm sure he's not going to help find her.
Yeah, he's probably like, fuck her.
And if she was scared of him, they probably didn't have a good.
I'm petty. I wouldn't.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you probably didn't have a good relationship, and especially it's your sister's ex-boyfriend. So.
Oh, it looked like something popped up again.
And he did. Well, he did. Well, they're saying he didn't say, I hope you find your sister." Like he didn't say that. So? Which he still could have been upset if he did find out stuff. So, but like I said, he might not even know they threw it out. Like if he didn't go back and get it. So, like that's what I'm saying. It might not have been anything important, but it could have been like a normal guy thing, or just some people do that. They're like, "Oh, I'll just leave stuff behind. They'll hold it for me till I want it, and they never want it, and then throw it away."
Like a lot of people do that.
It does happen quite a bit, I think. But like I said, you can kind of take that how you want it. Okay, so that would be basically where they said he didn't have an alibi and heard he had an alibi. This person saying that was his alibi, was that he was out partying with friends Friday.
Well, if he was. It was his alibi.
Supposedly don't know anything about the friends. But there is something I wrote down. Can't remember what I done with it. It was something about the boyfriend, but I can't remember what it was. It was about basically the whole scenario here, but I'm not seeing it. Which if he did live there, he would have probably known about the building as well. So that gives him kind of more of some leeway.
And also, Merry Yule and Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate anything at all, I hope you have a happy day.
But that's technically the name that I found.
Can we say it?
If you want.
Matt McClung. I think it's McClung. MC.
Yeah.
M little C big C Lung.
That was the name I found. That was on Topics. I don't think Topics is up anymore. So
Topics was lit.
Yeah, you could find like mostly people harassing each other over nothing. But that's the name there. Like I said, it might not even be that was just a rumor name. So
let's look it up. Okay, a couple of people have popped up.
Like, don't go bashing him saying that he done it, because like I said, that's just
go attack him.
Yeah, no, nothing of that. Like, I really don't want people after me thinking that, the whole situation. Because, like I said, I don't know. That was just one of the names that was mentioned.
Where would he be from?
I don't know. I don't even think he lives in the state anymore.
I see one that says lives in Barbersville, Charleston, Huntington.
The ones I found, none of them, because you're looking at sister's 5 years older.
Vienna.
Leah was 21, so that would put him 26. So
this
he'd be.
I
don't know how old he was, but he could be pushing 40.
This other one's Huntington. Oh, let's check out the Huntington.
That's what she's doing right now. I can't remember what I was going to look about the alibi thing.
Well, it says this person only has one friend.
It wasn't with okay, that's what it was. I just got it again. But they said when they interviewed the cops in one of the interviews, when they were like, oh, about the maintenance man, they were doing repairs, like he didn't seem interested when he was talking about it. But when they mentioned, family and all of that, like being a suspect or something.
You said he's gonna be 40?
Roughly. It could be younger, give or take. But you're looking at 12 years ago. If the sister was 26, he'd be 38. But he could be younger. Usually people go to the army when they're closer to like 18, 19, 20.
Well, I don't think that guy was that old. This guy looks so old.
So, but what they did was they acted different though when the family was mentioned about being a suspect, like somebody in the family being a suspect, close to Leah. And they said the cop acted. I've not seen the video that they're talking about.
This one shows me a couple posts, and then from 2009.
D&D stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks kind of like Renaissance.
Like I said, I don't know. A lot of people believe that the ex-boyfriend is a major suspect. But a lot of people said if it was the ex-boyfriend that the sister would help cover it up. But I really don't see her doing that if it was him. Like I said, I don't know if it was.
Here we may have someone.
Being impossible.
What? He has an army outfit. He looks a little older. Found him. Just kidding.
Shouldn't even gave you the name. Like I said, I don't even know if the name's legit. This video has kind of turned into a long one, I noticed. Our last suspect we're going to talk about.
Oh, Jesus.
I think I mentioned 7, but 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a lot, which I did leave one out. If you go back to the father, I read that the stepdad was a possible, but they say he was a child rapist. I don't know how true that is or anything, but whether he done or not, I don't know.
Who?
The stepdad.
Well, if he's a child rapist, he wasn't going after Leah.
Yeah, I still think it kind of boiled down. I'm pretty sure they would have mentioned. I think that was more of a local rumor on something, but I think I remember labeling it in the podcast. But I kind of minus him out as well. But the last one is one of the gentleman I talked to on the phone. But he told me about a homeless guy. But he said that he was told an African American homeless guy had been ran out of the basement a few times, and he would stay down there a lot. I'm assuming, especially during wintertime, colder weather, being able to get in for the warmth and all that. But suppose, why would he do the attack in the basement? Keep that in mind. Because the guy I talked to about the homeless guy, he mentioned that.
Closer, so you don't have to drag so much dead weight.
So that means, well, yeah. But he could still, he was like, I doubt he would have an issue. Like a lot of people say, whoever killed Leah had to be a guy to be able to truck her up in the crawl space and all that. But, okay.
False.
So the possible theory with him, they're saying, maybe, he was told that she was washing clothes and her load of clothes was still in the washer, never in the dryer. But so the theory is, she went down there, washed her clothes, maybe went back down there, put the clothes in the dryer, and this homeless guy attacked her. My question is, but why hide her? Would that just help buy some time till he got out of town? And my other thing is, would there be police reports of this if a homeless guy did get kicked out of the area a couple times? Like, was the police called in? Which I know they said, I think he said when the cops got there, he was already gone. But did they actually file a report? Because that would be something you could possibly look in on. And if he did, because the way he talked was that he was a pretty good sized guy. And, if he's getting kicked out there 2 or 3 times, December, 14th, a little chilly, very possibility. Like I said, the whole hiding thing, that'd be the only thing that makes sense to me is trying to kill more time to get out of town. But he's home, like he's homeless. Like, would he have money, or would he just walk or pick up hitchhike? Because hitchhiking was still kind of iffy back then, which has always been iffy. Even in the '70s, everybody still done it.
Money picked up quite a bit.
Because if you go with she had clothes in the washer, that kind of means it had to be in the basement. Like, I don't know how, if that is true. That's what he told me that the police was talking about, because he knew some of the police officers.
Mm-hmm.
But crap, she could have been still attacked in her apartment. You still think there's a sign of struggle. You're good. But we're getting ready to wrap this up. But I want to mention one more thing that I thought was interesting. Probably nothing to it. But one article posted on WebSleuths from WSAZ, August 28th, 2008, it mentioned a suspect. I don't know any detail about this suspect, but the article was deleted. I don't know if it was just deleted over years. I just seen like a highlight of a part of it, but when you click on a link, that didn't go to it. So I thought that was interesting. Like, did they label somebody close, or was it just the overall? Somebody knew the layout of the place, blah blah blah. Was it the same old thing, or did they actually have a name or more of a description of who actually done it? I just thought that'd been interesting. Like, why was it deleted? Because we do know. What?
I thought I heard it wrong.
No. But yeah, so if you're looking at that, hair fiber, like maybe when she is crying, but maybe when technology gets better, they'll be able to find a suspect and have a case on. Because I'm assuming they have the way I look at it, they have a theory. They just need evidence to match up to it. Because if they go in, say they pick one of these people and say you've done it, but there's no evidence, and they take them to trial, and they don't get convicted of it, then they can't take them back to trial for it, and they're still walking free. So they're trying to get this. So I think if they can ever get the DNA off that to somebody, then we're going to find out who killed Leah. But thank you all for tuning in. I'm sorry that we were like an hour late, and this video is over an hour long. But thank you all, and we have one more video planned for sure. Not sure when we're doing it. We got the holidays, son's birthday's next weekend. We might do a video that night, maybe after the kids are asleep. We're just waiting out, so that'd be the 28th possibly, unless we do it during the week or something. So I'll make an event and all that. And like the blog with this video is going to be coming up right after this. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you later.